Want to know the exact system I use to help my event business double our bookings and increase profits before the year end? In this video, I'm going to share with you my proven framework that always allows for me to have a strong Q3 that leads into an amazing Q4. And most importantly, without the burnout. Hey y'all, it's Jessie with Greeneyedambition, where we talk about all of the unsexy things that go along with running an event business. We focus on growth and scaling without having to have crazy systems. On this channel, we focus on growth and scaling with structure and systems. And the key to having a strong end to this year is to have a system that will allow for you to handle the inquiries and execute the event with as minimal of issues as possible. So let's think of not just focusing on hustling, and let's actually creating a structure and strategy to have success at the end of this year. So today I'm going to give you my exact Q3 strategy to help with growing momentum and giving me the ability to crush my goals for each and every year. The key to this is being able to work smarter, create a plan, and to be able to allow people to book with you faster due to having this new confidence in the system that you're using. You may be wondering, Jessie, why does Q3 actually matter and what is Q3? So in a year, most businesses break down the whole annual year into quarters, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Q3 is specifically July through September, and Q4 is October through December. So just think about every quarter in a year. And the thing to always remember about Q3 is that this is where you get to set up the momentum to lead into Q4. Depending on the type of business you have, this can actually be one of your most profitable quarters due to the amount of people that may be looking for your services. I am in the corporate vein of events, so typically we have holiday parties and themed things that are happening at full momentum pretty much September through December, and that's what I want to help you with, being able to have a strategy for your business. And let's have a real conversation. The event industry is forecasted to have $2.5 trillion by 2035, and that growth starts with those that are willing to treat their company as a real business and not as a hustle. So it's important for you to have structure, strategy, and systems. So let's dig into what I do each and every Q3 to have growth in my business. The way I want you to look at this as a 5-step system so that you can have success. So the first thing we have to do is to review your numbers. It's important for you to review your numbers because you won't know what's working and what hasn't worked if you are just avoiding it. And don't allow yourself to be so discouraged of thinking, I didn't have a good Q3 in 2024. If you face your numbers, it allows for you to actually create a strategy to have a better Q3 of 2025 and a Q4 of 2025. But if you don't know your numbers, there's no way to know. So the 3 numbers that I always try to look at when it comes to the strategy is, 1, I want to know what is my current year-to-date revenue. So I will go inside of my CRM platform and I will run this report. And this is why I always say you need to have a CRM that can allow you to do this with ease, because we're not pulling out calculators to do all this stuff. You want to have a system that allows for you to just pull this up. The second thing you want to be able to see is what is one of the most common things that people are booking with you this year thus far. It will help you being able to understand where can you start to put more lean into your business, because some people that I talk to, they have they're like, oh, I do this, and it's just so confusing. And what happens is that there's so much divided energy. When you have the ability to have a strong end to the year, what you want to do is hunker in on one of the things that people are mostly reaching out to you and really dive into it. So you want to know what services people are coming to you the most. And the third thing you want to do is to pull your numbers from Q3 and Q4 of 2024. Yes, the year before, because this is what's going to help you with understanding, are you on track for this year to still have the same results of last year, or are you ahead of this? This is why it's really great to actually look at your numbers. When I looked at my numbers, I saw that my business, we did have a less number of bookings, but we were getting higher revenue and higher profit margins. So don't just think revenue is revenue. You can be working more for less amount of money, or you can be working less for more money. It just comes down to you doing your averages to be able to understand this. And if y'all really want me to like do a example of this, I can do another video, but I don't want this video to be extremely long. So the three numbers you want to do, pull up where you are year to date. You want to see what services people are coming to you the most to book. And then the third thing is that you want to pull your numbers from 2024 or the previous year so that you can compare what you did this time last year and where you are right now. So you can understand, are you on pace or are you behind? The second thing you want to do, which I always do, is I like to refine my offer. This is important because I want to make sure that if I know that most of my business, my high volume business comes in Q3 and Q4, I want to maximize it. What I like to do is look at what hasn't worked, what has worked, and how can I optimize what they are potentially coming to me for. So one of the things I did last year was I was able to see these are the random things people come to me for. How about you just offer complete packages so that people are able to do as much with me as possible before they start to do things in-house? So you want to think to yourself, how can I adjust my pricing? Because I know some of you haven't even touched your pricing with all this going on, which you need to be doing. But then also think about, how do you update your packages based off of what your clients are needing now? The most important thing to remember as a business owner is that you are solving a client's problem. I do not care if you are a photographer, if you're someone that has a venue, if you're doing food, you are solving a problem. So what you want to do is to have packages that are geared towards solving that problem that is specific to Q3 and Q4. So take the time to think to yourself, what can you do to maximize and optimize what you're bringing in, because your clients are looking for a solution. So for some of you, it may be doing a collaborative package where you are potentially, you might be a DJ. Work with somebody to offer a 360. So this can be your elevated holiday party package, and you upcharge it. So like, let's say someone that's a 360, they're charging $600. You do an upcharge and then you both can collaborate. It's important though, before you come up with this, have contracts, vet the people you're going to do this with. But again, be smart about the packages that you're offering. But bundling is one of my go-tos when it comes to stacking my services. I think of, if I have someone that's looking for this, because I have sometimes during the holiday party season, people like to do karaoke nights. What can I do as a full package for that type of party? So I look at my resources, put together this package, and then what some people then just do, hey, Jessie, I love this idea for your karaoke holiday party. I want to get do, and it's all nicely packaged together. So it makes it easy for one, them to book, and two, for me to get paid. And it's important for you to know what you offer. You want it to be easy for your clients to say yes. Stop confusing your clients. And if it's chaotic for people to say yes, that is a clear indication that you probably are losing clients because of that. Do you ever feel like you are always reinventing the wheel inside of your event business? What if you had workflows to help with improving your client experience and how you're executing your services? There is a stress-free way to run your business, and I have a free resource to help you with navigating how to go about creating that inside of your business. That's why I have created a free training that's intended to help event business, industry business owners with being able to streamline how they're doing their services so that you are no longer wasting time, potentially making mistakes, or losing clients. This quick training will walk you through how to go about creating your process. It also includes some free printouts and worksheets to help you with being able to map out your plan. Don't let your back office hold you back anymore, and take the time to download the free resource that's in the description today. 3, I love to relaunch a visibility plan. So I think to myself, how do I want for the marketplace to see my services and what solutions we're offering? So you want to write out a 30-day visibility plan. How are you going to email your clients on your list? Because we should be doing email marketing. We should be doing email marketing. We should be doing email marketing. So however you are doing email marketing, you want to think to yourself, how are you going to create sequences so that people are able to re-engage with your services and you can educate them? Because here's the thing, stop assuming that your clients know how you can solve their problems or what you really do. What I've found that is that if someone has always came to you for X, Y, and Z, they won't know that you can do A, B, and C. They just think that you only could do one thing. So this is why it's important in your visibility plan so that you're educating your clients on what you do, the problems that you solve. The second thing you want to do when you're creating your visibility plan is think about how you're going to reach out to your past clients. One of the things that I do is inside of my CRM, I pulled a list of all the people that I worked with from this time last year all the way up until July 1st so that I can schedule intentional conversations and messages with those individuals so that I can let them know what I'm offering, my exclusive packages that we're offering for Q3 and Q4 to hopefully start getting some people to book. Yes, you may be so busy in the day-to-day for today's bookings, but if you don't take the time to be strategic for the future, it's very hard to actually grow. So reconnecting with my past clients always works out really well because it's important to have a solid client retention process inside of your business, because if we're always just chasing new, then it makes it very hard to have a sustainable business on the long-term goals. Then the third part of this visibility plan is to create content that educates and invites bookings. Not just book with us, book with us, book with us. There can be an intentional way to be able to create this content. So it just comes down to you knowing your services, knowing the problem you're solving, and how you're going to tease people about how amazing it is to work with you and how amazing your company is. But you have to be intentional. And the thing is that people need to be reminded that you are available and that your calendar is filling. In fact, I've had it where I've worked with some vendors in November, December of last year, or like previous years, because we haven't hit that season. And I've had vendors not even reach back out to me to let me know. And then because I didn't work with them that much, I can't even remember the name of the company. So then what happens is that I'm having to rebook the same service each and every year with different people because those vendors do not follow up and they do not think to reach out to me. So do not be that business that you're losing out on clients because you just expect that, oh, because I saw a photo or a video months ago that I'm going to remember to work with you in November. I just won't, and they just won't. The fourth step is that I always look at how can I automate or improve my booking process. So if you're someone that's doing things manually, like your contracts, your inquiries, or you're feeling like you're chasing payments, it's time to stop this and you want to use a tool. Over the past few years, I've done a ton of videos on different CRMs. You know, I've spoken about HoneyBook. I've spoken about Relevantful. I even have spoken about some EventNe, which is a platform for those of you that are event organizers. Each one has a different type of end-use client. I do know some of y'all are using Owl Planner, and it's, for me, it's not about the system. It's about how effectively you're using it and how it's helping you run your business. You want to use something that's going to allow for you to book your projects and contracts so that you're not finding yourself losing out on clients. I have shared this before. It's been times where I reach out to people because they do not have anything automated, that I am reaching out, and it takes them weeks, or they might not even see the message until months later because they are doing everything manually. Do not miss out on opportunities in a peak season. So even if you're using a platform, just like how I've already been using a platform, what I do is take the time to look at how can I improve it, and look to myself, how do I utilize a special offer to create a specific workflows? So I feel like computer systems and automations are a ever evolving process, because what may have worked with communication for a client today may not work in 2 years. So we don't want to just keep doing the same thing just because if it's not broke, it's it. No, that's not how you want to run your business. You want to be innovative. You want to continue to think to yourself, how do I improve my operations and communication? Because the goal is to save time and make more money. And the fifth step that I do after I have taken the time to do the 4 other ones, I like to set weekly goals. This is important because I often can feel overwhelmed. I'm not going to lie. I probably deal with a little bit of anxiousness, anxiety. In fact, I was even diagnosed with a little bit of PTSD after my mom passed away a couple of years ago. So A lot of what I do is to regulate myself so that I am optimal for my clients and the community in which I'm building. So I have to sit here and think to myself, what are the weekly goals I'm going to have, be it on outreach or marketing or the amount of sales I want to do. Instead of sitting here saying, I want to have a 6-figure Q4, I sit here and think, okay, my goal is to be able to have X amount each week. So then I can actively do the actions to be able to get the result that I want each week. So for you, you can think to yourself, I want to break my quarter into themes, or I want to break my weeks into specific goals and concepts. So it can be that one week you're just going over your marketing refresh. Because in these last 4 steps that we talked about, it may be very difficult for you if you're not hyper organized, or you don't already have clarity on this stuff, or you're not using a system that doesn't allow for you to get all of this information clearly. Do not try to do all 4 steps in 1 week. I mean, if you can, kudos to you. Can I? Hell no. So you want to make sure inside of your business that you're setting yourself up for success, because that's the biggest thing about goal setting. Goal setting is you setting the goals so that you can have success. If you're not setting realistic goals and timelines for your business and you're feeling overwhelmed, it's because you are not setting yourself up for success. So for me, for success, I do a few bite-sized goals each week that lead to that main big goal. So 1 week, it might be just doing market research, pulling up the reports that I mentioned. And then the second week is thinking about how can you improve your offer for your clients so that you can start reaching out to them. On the third week, so set a goal. I'm going to reach out to all the people that worked with us in 2023 to start getting on the books for 2024, so I can start getting on the books for 2025. So that you know what you're saying and what you're promoting. Because if we just start reaching out to people before I understand what marketing we're going to do or what offers, that is just double the work, which is not necessary. And then once you do that, you want to now take the time for week 4 to do a systems audit. Do bite-sized goals, and it will allow for you to have a solid start into Q3 so that you can start building in a momentum for Q4. So just be clear, have a clear focus for each week. Even if the goal is, I want to hit 6 figures in Q4, divide K by 3 months. Then I like to then do is divide whatever that number is by 4 weeks. And then you can even, if you wanted to, divide that by 7 days a week. So you can have a daily goal on revenue that you want to have. And depending on type of business you have, that may not be possible or not. I can't speak on anyone's business, but you have to know what's going to keep you motivated to know that you're moving forward towards your goal so that you can surpass it and crush it. So I want to give you a quick action plan. So here's what I want you to do this week. If you've made it this far, this is going to be a real gem for you. The first thing I want you to do is look up your top 3 offers for Q1 and Q2 of this year. See what people are reaching out to you. See how much money people are average spending with you so that you can have clarity on what people are coming to you for instead of assuming, and you get a chance to actually know. The second thing I want you to do is to choose one to relaunch for this fall. How are you going to make it sound more special or appealing? It might just be a name change, or it might be adjusting what is offered in it, or it might be a price increase. It just comes down to how you want to rebrand your offer. The third thing that I recommend is for you to block time to update your booking system. In fact, I am doing that this week because HoneyBook has put out a lot of new updates. I'm doing everybody else's updates and I haven't done my own. And I'm like, you know what? This week is the week that we're doing that. The fourth thing that I recommend for you to do and that I'm putting you in charge to do is to start marketing with intention. Not just pretty posts, not just doing it because you feel like you have to do it. Do it with intention so that you can start getting results that you can track. So if you are needing help and need more clarity on a strategy for your specific business and services, please do not hesitate to reach out. I do offer coaching and strategy sessions that are intended to help you with winning and succeeding inside of your business. So the thing is that it's just not about working harder. It's about working with intention. I hope that that's something that you've been able to really get from this conversation today. So it's not about that you need to create something new each and every time. You just want to copy this system, stay consistent, and watch your business blow up in the best way possible. So like this video if it has been helpful for you, and comment below and let me know which one of these things you're going to actually do inside of your business. I want to hear from you, and I look forward to hearing about all the amazing things that you're going to crush into Q3 and Q4 this year. Subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you later.